If you want to talk about how to stay consistent in your writing, you are in the right place. And you can tap hearts from the replay too. Did you know that? It's just as fun later on. Welcome guys, welcome. And I'm really excited to talk about this topic today because I think that we tell ourselves a lot of stories about why it is that we're not writing. Hello guys, welcome as y'all are popping in. Lots of familiar faces. Y'all say hi in the chat. Jessica, I missed your scope. I'm so sorry. I went on Twitter and the broadcast wasn't showing and I realized I wasn't following you. So you have to do another one. And I will definitely watch it. Hello guys. Thank y'all for the hearts. Yes, so today we're talking about staying consistent in your writing. If you find yourself wanting to write on a regular basis and you're just not, you're not alone. Hello from Panama. Yes, and if you guys are new, it was epic. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm sure it was. If you're new, let me know in the chat. Let me know your name so that I can call you by name because I love connecting with you guys and getting to know you. Darnell's in the room. Thank y'all for the hearts. Okay, yes. Ground rules, ground fun. If you like what we're talking about in the scope, you tap the screen to get those hearts flowing and that lets me know that you're there and engaged. Hey Indra, Juan Carlos from Panama, welcome, welcome. Okay, I am feeling a lot better. I'm still not 100%, but we're like at 98. I'm feeling good. So thank you. And tap those hearts. If you know a writer friend who is having trouble with their consistency, then share it out. Share on Twitter, Facebook, Periscope, and bring in the writer friends because this is a fantastic writing community. If you don't have writer friends, then all these folks in the chat are really awesome. And I've been talking to some of them the last couple weeks individually, like on the phone about books, and it's been so much fun. So, and then the last thing, if you're not following me, hit Perry Buddy, change that plus to a check, and it'll let you know when I am scoping. And we put up notes and replays and transcripts at paperravenbooks.com/periscope. Thanks guys. And if you are a writer and you do scoping, use our hashtag Periscope Writers, and we will find you and support you and be in your scopes and tap hearts, and it'll be fun. All right, welcome everyone. So excited to have you all on. And it's Monday, and it feels like a good day to talk about consistency, right? Because Monday is when we have all these aspirations for what we're gonna do over the week, and we just have to sometimes get really, we have to check in with ourselves and be realistic. Okay, so if you are like a lot of people, a lot of writers, including myself, you have a long-term goal, right? Maybe it's a book. Maybe it's getting ahead on your blog post. Maybe it is writing a course. I'm not sure what your long-term writing project is, but usually it's going to involve several weeks or months of writing. And so it's really overwhelming and daunting, first of all. But a key component, oh yes, I'm glad that you're enjoying so far. We're just getting into the meat. So a key component of being able to accomplish this really large project is to have some sort of rhythm of consistency. Most people can start out okay. Once you get over that like little hump of procrastination, you get a little bit of momentum going. And for most people, that's a nice little honeymoon, like week or two, or maybe 3, where you're kind of writing and you're getting into it and you're really enjoying it. But everyone, we hit that wall and we're like, I'm not making the progress that I want to in this project. It's just not coming out the way that I thought it would. And so how do we talk to ourselves in that moment is really important for being able to sustain consistency. So I want to propose to you today that you are telling yourself a story in your head. In those moments where you were thinking, I'm not making the progress I want to make, you begin to tell yourself a story. And it may be different for everyone, but it's probably around the same themes of, I'm just not that good at writing. Writing is just not my thing. I'm a lot better at this other aspect of life, so it's okay that I'm letting the writing fall. I'm really busy. I have a lot of stuff going on. I do believe in God. And we say, I can only write little bits at a time, or we say, I'm just waiting for the inspiration, right? There's some sort of phrase or thought that's probably on repeat in your head that you keep telling yourself, this is why I'm not making progress. So I want you to kind of think about the next time that you are sitting down at your computer. All right, guys, we're going to keep it on topic here. Keep it on topic. Talking about writing. Let's keep it on topic. That moment, guys. Okay, that moment when you are admitting to yourself that you're not making the progress that you want, you are simultaneously getting in your own way. You're telling yourself some sort of story. So you have to pause that story and look at it and say, what am I telling myself? Am I telling myself that I am too busy? Thanks for the hearts, guys. Am I telling myself that I'm too busy? Okay, pause. Let's examine that. Is that story really true? Life is always busy, but look at have a reality check. Look at your schedule and say, yeah, okay, I'm busy. But is there 30 minutes? Is there 15 minutes today that I can write? And be real honest with yourself. And if you're looking at your schedule and you see that 15 minutes and you say, you know what, but I just don't want to do it, okay. That is not actually saying, if you're looking at your schedule, you see that 15 minutes and you don't want to do it, you're not actually too busy to do the writing. It's just not a priority right now. And that's not a terrible thing. You're a human being. You're allowed to have different priorities. But look at why it's not a priority. Say, okay, it's not a priority right now because 2 of my kids are sick. And they're just going to come first for the next few days. And that's okay. It's okay. But what I don't want is for you to repeat that mantra in your head, I'm too busy, I'm too busy, I'm too busy, I'm too busy. Because you're not being honest with yourself, right? What's really happening is that your kid is sick and it's a short phase of life and you're taking a break for a couple days. Yeah. And don't beat yourself up over it. Life happens, right? But be honest with that story. And if you can, find 15 minutes when you can write. It doesn't have to be stellar. That's a great way. Donnell writes 1 page every day. How do you hold yourself accountable? Oh, I have a really great system for you. Panda. Didn't catch all of your handle. I'll give you a tool here in just a second for holding yourself accountable. Another story that people often tell themselves is, I'm not that great at writing. Yeah, everything in life is temporary. That is true. So if your life always has these temporary moments, then be really honest with yourself and say, it seems like random things crop up. I need to just set my schedule out ahead of time and plug in those 15, 30, 45 minutes ahead of time. Okay, yes, so Panda is going exactly where I was going. If your story is, I'm just not that great at writing, that is a story that you continue to put on repeat, and the more you say it to yourself, the more you're going to believe it. Oh, Jessica got home late last night, turned on your computer and wrote for before you turn on your computer, wrote for 15 minutes. Awesome. And you do feel better because it relieves that guilt and anxiety. Okay, so if you're the type of person who says, I'm just not that good at writing. Oh, write or research. Ooh, okay, Rand, that's another good question. Remind me. We'll talk about that in just a second. I got to keep an eye on my time. I have just a few minutes, but we're going to get to it. I'm not good at writing. That's a story you're telling yourself. Because, hey Kat, welcome. Good to see you again. Thanks for those hearts. Because writing is a skill that is learned. Would that be the first thing that I say? And so the more you write, the more natural it will feel. It's not going to feel natural at first, but get a few thousand words under your belt on a long project and you'll ease into it. So one thing, it's a skill that you get better at. No one is born a genius writer. Writers who... Hello, Jean. I love that you're on Blab, by the way. I'm loving your blabs. Guys, follow Jean. And follow her on Blab. She's got awesome blabs. Writing is something that you get better at, and it's something that you can get help with. Seriously, guys, there has never been, okay, I'm not gonna say that. Almost every single book that has been published has been through probably 6 to 8 rounds of editing. Oh, Jess, good. I'm glad it's becoming more fluid. So what you don't know as the reader is that anytime you pick up a book that has been through a publishing process and you read it and you're like, wow, this sounds amazing, you have no idea, Jean agrees with me here, lots of editing, where that book started. I can tell you, I'm an editor, right? Oh, grammar courses and punctuality, don't even worry about that stuff. For the first draft, do not worry about grammar, do not worry about punctuation. Just write it. Yeah, I know, we perpetuate this myth that they're natural born writers. I can't tell you how many books that have come in to me and they're a mess, but I get the writer on the phone and we talk through it and they explain what they're doing, and you would not believe the kind of magic that we can work on a book. It's incredible. Yes, Tom, just right. So even if you feel like you're not a good writer and that you have this like impression that everyone else who does writing is like, it comes out perfectly the first time. Yes, Jean says she's been writing all morning and it comes out, the first draft is always rough. Even for professional writers, the first draft does not look pretty. You would never, ever, ever take a first draft of publication because it's a mess. You bring in editors and we're like this amazing little like cleaning crew and we rearrange. Oh, yay! And you're writing your next one now. Yes. And we like rearrange things. We make your argument come out clearer. We point out areas where the shitty first draft, exactly. Point out areas where you can elaborate. And it's just, you wouldn't believe the kind of up level that editing can bring a manuscript. So don't fall into this like cultural myth that everyone else is a good writer. Look at your own story, and when you're saying, I'm not a good writer, I'm not a good writer, say, you know what? Yeah, I'm not the best writer, but I can write and I have a story to tell, and that is worth getting my shitty first draft out and then finding the help I need. Piece of cake, guys. Okay, 2 quick things. I am gonna have to run, but for holding yourself accountable, gosh, there's a link. I wish I had looked at this link before I hopped on Scope. But, okay, the basic idea is that you get a log on a piece of paper or an Excel spreadsheet or whatever. Tom, yes, you do have a story to sell. Write it, and then get the help that you need to make it sound better. No shame in that. Every single book that has ever been published should have a team of editors on it. Get a piece of paper or an Excel spreadsheet, write down the date that you write and the number of minutes that you write and the number of words that you write for every single writing session, and then you can look back and you'll be able to tell this week how much writing did I do. Maybe it's more writing than you would have imagined. Exactly, Tom. Date, minutes writing, words. That's the bare minimum. My sheet is actually a little bit more elaborate. I will share it. If you go to paperravenbooks.com/periscope, I'll put it in the notes, okay? And some of us overestimate how much writing we're doing, and we look back and we're like, ooh, I really only wrote for like an hour this week. I could step that up. I know, Joanne, I love spreadsheets too. And some of us underestimate. So we actually spend like 5 hours writing and we continually beat ourselves up for not writing enough. And if we look back and say, actually, I wrote for 5 hours this week, that's pretty good. I can ease up on myself, okay? That's really helpful, really helpful. And then whether, who was this? Rand, I think, who asked writing or research. Favorite writing book? That's a hard one. William Zessner on Writing Well. That's a great one to start with. William Zessner, Zessner on Writing Well. Fantastic starting writing book. You generally, you're welcome. You generally do research before you're ready to start writing anyway. So by the time you get to this point that you're ready to write, you've already done research. You already have a lot more information and expertise than you get. Zessner, I think. That's very close though. You already have a lot more information and expertise than you even really are probably going to admit. So rely on that. Write the first draft. Write as much of the first draft as you can. And then if you really feel like there's a place where you need to stop and research, take 1 week. maximum, either 1 day or 1 week as a research phase. Put a start time and a deadline and say, okay, I'm gonna do this research in 1 day or 1 week and then get back to writing. So always put a cap on the research because it will it will overtake your life if you aren't careful. Thoughts on outlines. I have so many thoughts on outlines. Okay, guys, we're gonna do another scope. We'll do that tomorrow because research, cap it, because it is a black hole. It is jumping down the rabbit hole and there's no end to that baby unless you put a deadline, a start date, and an end date. Charles, hello, welcome. Okay, I'm just wrapping up. Yeah, Jean, I know, because we love doing the research. We love it, we love it. I love Stephen King's On Writing. He does fiction and I do nonfiction, which is why I tend toward William Zesner, but I love Stephen King's On Writing. So, so good. Yes, same time tomorrow, guys. I try to do lunchtime scope. Oh, but I have a webinar tomorrow. Guys, okay, if you have any more questions about the writing process, thanks, Charles. I'm doing a webinar tomorrow. It's all 12 steps of how to write a book. From vague idea, first draft, finished manuscript. Go to paperravenbooks.com/12 steps webinar. 12 steps webinar. Got one tomorrow and one Wednesday. So I don't know exactly when I'm scoping, but it'll be soon. And if you follow me, you can catch the replay.